Hello, everyone. My name is David Kim, Sales Master from Atomy, Canada, and today I'll be your host for today. Um, Before we all get started, I'll just like to thank our interpreter Kua for coming on for today for interpreting. And before we all begin, if we could just do our company motto. Okay. Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Cherish the spirit,
Cherish the spirit,
create the vision,
create the vision,
follow the faith, serve in humility.
humility.
Aja, aja, aja.
Aja.
Yes, thank you all for coming today for our 1 o'clock Thursday seminar for everyone who's attending. And for our first presentation will be products from Sales Master James Chung from USA.
James, can you open your mic first? Can you open your mic first? Yeah. Okay, say again, please.
She's gonna unmute as well.
We cannot
Yeah.
hear you.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so excuse me. Wow, it's a great day to be here, and we have some great products at Atomy, and I want to stress that Atomy is a product-based company, and so this is the reason why we're here. And I believe we have the best products that are out there, and that's the reason why we're successful. So let's not lose sight that this is a product-based company. Apple Phenon Jelly Stick. I've taken this to lose weight personally. I lost 24 pounds in 6 weeks with diet and exercise, and also taking the Apple Jelly Sticks. So let's go to the next slide. You know, with normal weight loss, people, they tend to lose their weight by restricting their diet. They maybe cut out types of foods like low carb diet or Atkins diet or low protein diets. There's all these different types of diets out there, but really we're trying to starve ourselves to lose weight. However, with Apple Jelly Stick, you don't have to starve yourself anymore. You could actually have a normal diet, but simply take 2 Apple Jelly Sticks a day to lose the fat. So I'll show you on the next slide. The reason why is because the Apple Jelly Sticks have two Atomy Apple Jelly Sticks, there's 45 green apples worth of polyphenols, and polyphenols will help us to lose weight. Polyphenols block fat and cholesterol from going into your system. So with enough of these, you can block that fat from building up. Let's go to the next slide. With the Apple Jelly Stick, they're plant-based weight control, so it's very healthy. There's no chemicals added. And so you'll lose weight, you'll lose your waistline, your hip line, you lose your body mass index or BMI. You'll also lose the visceral fats by your gut, and also your abdominal fat will go away as well. Now, it's recommended that you take the Apple Jelly Stick for 12 weeks, and then after 12 weeks, for 4 additional weeks, you still burn the fat. So even after you stop taking the product, for 4 weeks, you're burning visceral fat and the gut fat. So it's a really, I think, a very effective product because it works after you take it for that period of time. So it's a very effective product. Next slide. And the price has gone up a little bit now. It's $32 with the new pricing in the US. And I believe in Canada, pricing went up as well. And the PV is also a little bit higher, though. It's 18,000 PV. So that's the Apple Jelly Stick.
Okay.
Okay, and now a product that's really near and dear to my heart is the nani, organic fermented nani concentrate. I personally take this to control stress levels. It's recommended to take 30 milliliters before going to bed at night. If stress levels are high, I take some in the morning as well. So for those of you that want to control stress levels, that's one of the benefits of nani. Next slide.
Okay.
And it's from the Java Islands of Indonesia. It's harvested there in Atomy's farm. So we have our own farm there. It's a very rigorous process of fermenting the nani fruit. It's 1,440 hours of fermentation. And some call this a gift from God because really there's so many health benefits from nani. It has substances like prozeronone, polyphenols, and iridoids, which I'll explain in more detail. Next slide. So these are called phytochemicals, or phyto meaning plant-based chemicals. So there's no additives in here that are harmful to you. These are all natural chemicals. And there's 200 kinds of these beneficial phytochemicals in nani. The ones I'll go over today, though, are prozeronone, scopolamine, iridoids, and polyphenols. The prozeronone, this helps you with your high blood pressure. It actually dilates your blood vessels so that the blood flows better and you lower your blood pressure. So for those of us that struggle with high blood pressure, nani is good for that benefit. Scopolamine, actually no, scopolamine for that one. Prozeronone is good for stress levels. That's the reason why I take it. So prozeronone helps you with stress levels because when you have stress, your cells get damaged. And what prozeronone does, it heals those cells, it repairs those cells. And so it produces that for our body. So it's really good for stress levels. Okay, iridoids is good for your liver, is good for inflammation, for like arthritis in your joints, and also for tumor development. So if you have any tumors from cancer, it can help reduce those tumors as well. Polyphenols is good for weight loss, as well as it's good for your head health, like your brain, your heart, and your gut. And polyphenols are also found in the apple phenom. Next slide. And you can see here how rich in polyphenols this is. Compared to kiwi, tomato, and mango, it's over 100 times more than those fruits. If you look at the iridoids, there's 19 different types of iridoids compared to like 8 in cherry, 2 in cranberry, and 1 in blueberry. So it's very rich in iridoids. And then looking at the prozeronone, compared to pineapple, which was known to have the highest prozeronone levels, nani actually has 40 times more prozeronone than pineapples. So very, very rich fruit. Okay, next slide. Yeah, the fermentation process, I think is pretty amazing. I always tell people, like, how long does it take you to bake a cake, right? About 30 minutes to 1 hour. And after you bake that cake, you have a very nice tasting chocolate cake. Imagine fermenting something then for 1,440 hours. What's going to happen there? You're going to get a very rich juice that's very healthy and good for your body, right? So the fermentation process, the first 1,080 hours, you ferment nani, the fruit, with 7 different types of probiotics. It's very rich in probiotics as well. And then after that, you ferment for 360 hours with coconut sugar and Aeon CD syrup to sweeten it up, right? So now because you sweetened up the nani, it's good for children to take it. It's good for all levels of ages. So it's good for the whole family. Next slide, please. And the price of the nani actually didn't go up. The US price stayed the same at $57 per bottle. And it's also 35,000 PV. So it's very affordable and it's very good for your body. And that's the product presentation today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, James, for the product presentation. As if we could give another round of applause. Those 2 products are very amazing. I also love the apple phenon and the noni, as Canada has recently just got the bottled noni in Canada compared to other countries that already has it, right? It's also very good for your health and weight loss. For our next presentation, it'll be the Atomy Business Formula from Diamond Master Daniel Kim from Canada.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or I guess it might be morning for some of you who are living on the West Coast, or it might be evening for those on the further east past where I am. But yes, it's great to see everyone here today. Why don't we start off by just saying hello to one another? We just say hello. Yes, yes, hi. We have so many different cultural backgrounds here. And that's what makes our, group so great, right? Because we have a variety of people here, whether, people from Sweden or Norway or America from Canada, right? And that group is continuing to expand and continuing to grow, right? And so, this is the actually seeing in live, you're here seeing it live, the global power that Atomy has today, right? Because you're physically seeing different backgrounds, different cultures, different or whatever, color and beliefs all coming together to work for one single goal, which is ultimately to grow our Atomy business and to have that, fulfillment of balanced lifestyle and be successful in life, right? And so, whenever you think of success, right? We think of success, we imagine ourselves maybe living a lavish lifestyle, living very well, right? And enjoying our lives, right? But even though we think and dream of it, how likely is it for you to achieve that success, right? If you think about it realistically, right? Maybe when you're younger, you dreamed that you're gonna be a millionaire, you're gonna be like Steve Jobs, you're gonna build like Bill Gates and making a lot of money. And then, once you start hitting older ages and you realize that like, okay, maybe that dream, I can't achieve it, so I'm gonna put it on the back burner and then just focus on making money just to make ends meet, right? Just to make sure I send my kids to college, send my kids, to school and all that stuff, feed my family. And so we kind of get sucked up into this routine and we forget how to become successful, right? But success is not that hard to attain as long as we set our minds to it. And so today, once again, my name is Diamond Master Daniel, and I'm going to share a little bit more about the successful formula for business, right? How can we better succeed in just about anything we do, right? Whether you're doing Atomy or whether you're doing something else in life, we have to have the right mentality, right level of understanding on what actually happens in order for us to gain success. And so, I want us to think about what we're doing right now, our current jobs, right? Think about it as you're working there in your current job. After the next 10 years or so, imagine yourself in that same job. What will you be doing? Will you get a promotion? Will you be making a bit more money, right? But even then, after 10 years, even if you get a promotion and all that stuff, do you see yourself being rich, having time, freedom to do what you want, freedom to travel, freedom to spend time with your family and loved ones and friends, and freedom of finance, right? If that's the case, then continue to do what you're doing, right? I would always support whatever brings you success first. That's the best thing to do. But if you don't see yourself 10 years from now, doing all those things, then maybe it's time for you to start thinking about where you're investing your time. Because no matter how long you invest your time in what you're doing now, in your current job or wherever you're working, and you're doing Atomy part-time, you're investing your time and body and mental health into that business, into someone else's happiness and success, only to have very little return for your future, right? And we want to live for ourselves. We want to succeed for ourselves, and so that way we can spread those joy to those around us that are, that we truly love, like our family members and our friends, right? So then we have to start to think about why and or what we can do in order to change that, right? And it all starts with having the right mentality and building out the right kind of values for yourself in terms of building your business, right? And so I want you to think, what is your value in terms of Atomy? What do you think about in terms of Atomy? Is it something that is actually worth something to you? Or you're just doing it because you think that you can make money really quick and, maybe become a millionaire overnight? Because if that's the case, I'd say you might want to try doing the lottery instead, because it might be a lot faster if that's the mentality you have when you're doing Atomy, right? Because when you're doing Atomy, we can't have a mentality of saying like, okay, I'm just gonna try to do this and only put in half the effort and expect to become rich, or if eventually maybe I'll hit it off after meeting multiple people, one of them will become my lottery ticket, right? Because anatomy doesn't work like that, right? Everything is a process and a step by step. So it doesn't happen just overnight, but rather it happens through repetition and, like continuing to follow that steps. Give me a moment. So yeah, so we're going to understand and the value that Atomy has to bring, right? So in Atomy, if we receive it for free, many of us tend to act very cheap about Atomy, right? And because of that, your chances will diminish when you're doing this business. Because if you think of Atomy like, oh, this is not something that's very valuable because you receive it for free, then you'll also act in a way that reflects that value. But if you received Atomy and you believe that it's a gift, right? A gift to those around you, gift to yourself, then the way you start to behave and act around you significantly changes. And so if you give someone this gift called Atomy and that person who receives it thinks of it as, oh, it's just the trash or it's garbage, and then they throw it away in the corner of their mind, those people will not pay attention to Atomy until one day they realize after opening that bag that what was in that bag was actually treasures beyond their wildest imagination, right? And that happens for many of us in the beginning, especially if you've ever experienced it. Like, some people are trying to recruit you to join Atomy, and we've all been there. You're like, oh, no, don't tell me what to do. I don't want to do this network marketing. It's, a big scam. Like, I hear people are going to lose out on money all the time, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm sure many of us ran away from that opportunity before, right? And that was the same for me as well, right? As Journals Master Esther, she, as many of you know, is my mother, and she'd always tell me to do Atomy. Like, oh, Atomy is the only way to succeed. This is the only way to do it. And I tend to run away in the beginning. I was like, oh no, you're crazy, right? You can do that yourself. I'll support you, but I don't want to be involved. I do not want to be anywhere near that kind of business. And so I distanced myself until at one point, I was asked to volunteer to just translate. And as I was doing that over and over again and listening to, very high level speakers and these royal masters and crown masters talk, it started to change the way I think about things, change the way I viewed how the world works, how money works, and a lot of these things, right? And so that's when I realized that the value that Atomy has. And even then, it was still not late to change that mindset. And so the many of us who, still are not convinced that Atomy is perfect for you, it's never too late to realize that it's actually the one for you, right? And for the friends and family members who've rejected you, it's okay. They'll come around one day after realizing that. And at that time, it's still not late to start, right? Because there is a huge amount of population around the world, right? 60 billion or so or more, and it's growing day by day, right? And so for us, we don't have to worry about the future of consumption because as people live, the moment they are born, you have to consume, whether that is baby products all the way to when you're elderly, you're still consuming products for health supplements and things like that, right? So the moment we are born, we consume products to the moment we die, we're consuming products. So having the right kind of products is essential for your success in Atomy. And to your surprise, or it might be something that you might have not noticed, but Atomy's products are all essential products, right? These are all something that we need to use on a daily basis, whether that is your toothbrush, toothpaste, right? Whether that is your detergents. And not only that, but they have some of these amazing products like, James, Sales Master James mentioned like the noni, right? We have our noni and our apple phenon jellies, right? Those are some amazing products. And there are always something more that you can use in Atomy to benefit your lifestyle. And so all of these things are all packed into this business called Atomy, but it's up to us to fully open that bag, right? The bag of trash that we thought was garbage, and realize that, wow, there's actually a lot of gold, a lot of value in there that we can use, right? And so, as you know, Atomy is not a system that is just 14 years old, right? Or 13 years old based off of Atomy's history, but rather it's a history based off the 60 to 70 years of networking marketing principle, right? And that's why, because of that principle, it allows for success to happen, because Atomy's taken the core structure of that basis of network marketing, revamped it, and completely changed it. So that way we are receiving this much better opportunity come from network marketing, right? Because as many of you might have experienced, or if you don't know, network marketing had a negative stigma because of its very expensive products or very high gap in terms of joining, right? You'd have to pay a lot of money to start the network marketing. And then after that, you'd have to also maintain a certain amount of inventory by purchasing. And so it's very difficult, not only for the consumer side, because it was very expensive for people to repurchase, but it also made it very difficult for the business owner to maintain that, especially if you're not made of money, right? If we don't come from money, or if you don't have money, then it's very difficult for us to continue to maintain that network marketing style, right? And as well as only the people who first started that network marketing company are usually the ones that benefit the most in those network marketing styles. And so there's many companies that we might know of at the top of our head, like Amway and Nutrilife or Herbalife, or all these different company names. But in Atomy, we've completely scrapped all of that, right? We've made the products highest of qualities, but affordable, right? So that already solves the product problem. And not only that, but we made the gateway entry to the barrier to entry a lot easier, right? Because there is no money that you have to put in order for you to join in Atomy. So it makes it a lot easier for you to do this Atomy business, because you're not required to pay a large amount of sum to just start your Atomy business. So we received this Atomy business opportunity free of charge. And so it's up to us to understand the value, because when we think of free, we tend to think that, okay, it might be cheap, or it might be something that's easily given to everyone. And so we take it for granted, right? We tend to look down on it and be like, okay, maybe it's not as great as people think, because everyone has an opportunity. But that's what makes Atomy so great, because anyone can succeed in Atomy. If you see all the Imperial Masters there, a lot of them were actually in severe debt. Some of them didn't even graduate elementary school, right? And so that's the power that Atomy has given others with that free of charge, right? There was no high barrier. You didn't have to be an engineer. You didn't have to be a doctor. You didn't have to be some kind of, scientist or specialist to succeed, or have huge years of business experience to succeed, right? It was a very simple concept where Chairman Hangyo Park created the absolute quality, absolute price, and all we had to do was use it. And if we enjoyed it, we shared it. And that simple process allowed for people to generate income and value in Atomy, right? How amazing is that, right? Don't you all agree? So I think that Atomy has a huge, huge potential, and it's up to us to capitalize on that potential if we want to succeed. And so even if, Atomy is an opportunity where if we trade it in for money, it's, we'll never receive that kind of equivalent value, right? If you spend all the money you have, you'll never be able to recreate a business like Atomy. And since we did not pay a price for obtaining this, we can't put a price on anything in Atomy. It's just how amazing it is. It's a priceless opportunity that's been given to us. And I want all of us to kind of realize that and really take charge of the value in Atomy. So the way you view Atomy actually significantly changes the way you interact with others about Atomy, as well as for yourself. But if you view Atomy as something that's lesser and not important, then obviously when you bring it to others, you'll also show it that, oh, okay, Atomy is not really something that I believe in myself. And then the other people will just think of it as like, okay, this person is just trying to sell me something. They're not actually believing in the products. They don't actually care about the products. They just want to make money off of me and my money, right? But if you show that you personally love the product, then there's no reason why. And this is something that we all do as instinctually as human beings, right? I want us to all think about it. How many times have we suggested a restaurant that we really love to a friend, right? Raise of hands if you've done that before, right? I should see everyone's hands. Unless you don't have friends, then it's okay. You don't have to raise your hand. But if we all have friends, then it's a natural instinct to all of us. When we love a restaurant, let's say you go to this famous, Korean restaurant that you really love, and so you want to share it to those around you who don't know about it. The same thing happens for Atomy. That's all the passion that you need in order to succeed. So don't bring in the difficult ideas of I gotta make money through Atomy. I gotta do that, right? Enjoy doing Atomy. Have fun with doing Atomy because that will just make your lifestyle easier. But if you try to calculate everything and make this into like a business where everything is like, oh, I can't take losses. And so that's why I have to make sure I even out my losses or make sure I balance my PV by waiting for someone else to purchase, then it'll take forever and you're taking out the joy of using Atomy, right? The reason why you're even using Atomy in the first place is most likely because it impacted your life, no? Because for me, I love all of Atomy's products. Like the Hemohim, it helped me with my seasonal allergy. I had severe seasonal allergy. Hemohim was the solution to that. And so whenever I go there, that's what I share about in terms of Hemohim, because a lot of people have, broken down immune systems, and that's why they're affected by these, seasonal allergies. And so these small things can impact your desire to share about Atomy. But if you've never used it and never believed in Atomy's products, then it's going to be hard for us to share about it because obviously we have no faith in the business, right? So now let's imagine that you worked at your current workplace. Right? I mentioned this earlier before for 10 years. And after 10 years, where will you be? Think about it, right? Imagine where will you be? Will you have enough to save to retire? Will you have a big house? Will you be able to buy your dream car? Will you be able to freely travel and spend when you want? Imagine most of us who choose that stable 9 to 5 lifestyle will never be able to do any of these on average, right? Unless you're the CEO or you're an engineer or a computer scientist or something like that, then maybe you're making more than 100,000 per year and be able to do that. But you're still on someone else's time, right? In the end, you have to work that 9 to 5 and you can't be flexible about when you want to go on vacation. And if the company doesn't need you, then they'll let you go, right? There has been a huge boom of computer scientists and computer engineers and programmers that have been hired during COVID. But after COVID finished, a lot of them also got let go, right? After the boom, a lot of them got let go and they didn't know what to do because they lost their job thinking that it was going to be a stable career for them. And so ultimately, businesses are in there for making money. So they don't really care about you. You're just a means to an end. But you have to care about your own self. Then you have to put yourself first above any other business and above other things in life. But Atomy has to be, if you want to succeed in Atomy, Atomy has to be your #1 in order for you to succeed, right? Don't put Atomy after your family. Don't put Atomy after your kids and then all these other things, because if you start to do that, you're just going to make excuses for yourself and Atomy will be at the very bottom of your list to do, right? Because right now you spend that 10 years with Atomy, then it will completely change your life, right? And you're just spending a momentary time, but we have ultimately, if you live up to 100, you have ultimately only 100 years left. And out of that 10 years you're spending on Atomy, you have the 90 years rest of your life. But if you're, let's say, in your 40s or 50s, you spend that 10 years, you're at your 50s or 60s, then you have your rest of your years, 40 years that you can spend with your family. So you can put all your important people slightly below Atomy. And after you succeed, those people will become your #1 priority again, right? But until then, give yourself some leeway and put Atomy in the very beginning of your lifestyle. Make everything about Atomy, right? Because if you don't do that, the success for you is going to be further and further away because we're going to continue to just make excuses. Okay, I can do Atomy on the weekends. Okay, you know what? Like I want to rest on this weekend because I don't want to go to the Success Academy. I'm tired. I've worked 9 to 5. I just want to rest, right? So all these excuses are going to delay your success. right? So now imagine yourself 10 years in Atomy. You diligently worked hard. Where will you be in 10 years, right? I'd say if you really did do the work in 10 years, 100%, we should all be at least Royal Master, Crown Master, or Imperial Master, 100% within the 10-year mark. If you truly actually put in the hard work and did your due diligence, right? But many of us don't do that. And then they expect to get a free ride in that 10 years, expecting someone else to do their work for them, right? But this is your business. Atomy is your business. So then why would you leave it in the hands of other people for success? That's a very foolish thing to do, right? So don't let other people determine your success, but quickly grab a hold of your own success and run with it, right? And in order to succeed in Atomy. And so we all know who this person is, right? If you don't know them, please raise your hand. I would be very worried, but this is someone we all should know, which is Steve Jobs, right? He is the CEO of Apple before he passed away. And as CEO of Apple, he started Apple with his partners and he started in his family's garage, right? He had nothing. He started in his family's garage. He focused on succeeding his business. He dropped out of college, right? And he committed by selling his Volkswagen car. So he had a car back then. Well, it was a Volkswagen. He sold that so that he can create capital for his business. And then Steve Jobs was known for having a very great business mindset and was able to grow his company, Apple, to become one of the best companies in the market today, right? And so we all use smartphones nowadays, right? Now we all use, whether it's Samsung or Google's Pixel or iPhone, right? And Apple is one of those leading companies in that part of the world, right? Many of us in the world probably use an iPhone. Many of us probably use an Samsung because there are some of the major, business brands out there. Whenever we think of smartphones, we either think of like Samsung or Apple, right? And so whenever we don't think of when we think of smartphones, we don't think of BlackBerry. We don't think of Nokia, right? Because those businesses did not adapt to the changing times and have phased out. But Apple has continued to grow and expand in its business and has grown to a point where even if Apple's CEO has passed away, Steve Jobs has passed away, he still managed to leave an impact in many of us today. We still remember who he is, right? And so actually, Steve Jobs left Apple for a bit because he was let go, even though he was a CEO. He was the owner of his own company and he was kicked out of his own company. And then when he returned, in order to change everything and so that Apple could succeed, he actually received $1 as his salary every year for a good chunk of the year, right? And then from that turning point, that significantly changed the way Apple grew. If he didn't do that after he came in, Apple would not be where it is today, right? And so we have to understand what the key takeaway is. We have to make sacrifices, right? Just like how Steve Jobs is willing to put in the effort to have his dreams and his business succeed, we also have to make sacrifices in our other aspects of life if we want to have success in Atomy. So who are successful in Atomy, right? So there's many different things, but there's some of them, these key points that I'll talk about in a little bit more detail, but one of them would be that those who are focused on the business, all right? And another is to have a business mindset. And then another thing would be to have a person who is able to overcome hardships. And then the last key point would be to have a person who is able to grow their dreams. So all these 4 key factors tie into becoming a successful business owner in anything, not just in Atomy, but in any aspect of your life, right? So let's talk a little bit about successful people in Atomy, right? So most people, when you ask them when they decided to commit to Atomy, they just say, oh, I just started this business 3 years ago, right? I'm not asking about when you started, but I'm asking them when they committed to Atomy, right? You can start at any time. Many of us start as just consumers, right? 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But I'm talking about when you truly decided that, yes, Atomy is my business. Atomy is the one for me. I'm going to do everything I can to succeed in Atomy, right? That's what I mean by, are you truly designing to focus on this business, right? And so many of us start with that kind of mindset of, oh, I just started Atomy 3 years ago, but how committed are you, right, into this Atomy business, right? So think about it. Are you committed to Atomy business, or are you just doing Atomy's business, right? So that's a good food for thought, but I want all of us to kind of take in and think about. And if you are just doing Atomy's business, then think about what you need to do in order to change so that you can commit to Atomy as a business, right? And so for those of us who haven't decided on Atomy as a business, it's obvious because we're not going to have much focus on doing it, right? And it also reflect on the way we behave around our partners and our sponsors, because it doesn't matter if we do Atomy or not. It doesn't matter if we go to the Success Academy or not. It doesn't matter if we attend the seminars or not, because ultimately we're not really committed to Atomy, right? Atomy is just something we happen to meet and happen to want to make money off of, but it's not something that we are risking our all in order to succeed. So how desperate are you in order to succeed and get out of where you are, right? So if you decide to invest your time and money into Atomy, then you want to start by meeting 3 people every day for 3 months, right? Set yourself a goal, and you should start to see your business start to form, right? Because during that 3 months of meeting people nonstop every single day, some of them are going to become your consumers, right? And you're going to start to build out your business, and it'll be one step closer to becoming an auto sales master. And then from there, that's your starting point to build out into becoming the diamond master, Sharon Rose master. But until you become an auto sales master, just becoming a sales master once is not going to be enough, right? So do this exactly, continuing to repeat this process consecutively for 3 years, and you should see yourself in a much higher and successful position in Atomy. But if you don't do this committedly, then obviously even after 3 years, you're not gonna see any sort of change in your Atomy business. And then you might go like, oh, sponsor, how come I'm not succeeding? You know, I've been doing all this. But the only thing that your sponsors can say is that, have you been actually doing it? Have you been committing yourself, right? Because, you know, only you can tell, right? Your sponsors can only see what you tell them. So if you pretend to work hard, if you pretend to do all this, then only there's a certain level of results that you can show before it's obvious that, you know, you're not actually committed to the business. And so just like how if we sit in a table for a long time and we're studying, right? You study, let's say, for 8 to 10 hours a day. It doesn't mean that you're actually going to be successful in that test, because it doesn't mean that 8 to 10 hours of you studying was actually a fruitful amount of time that you studied, right? The same could be said for Atomy, right? I'm not telling you to suddenly give up your 9 to 5 and to pour everything like 8, 10 hours of Atomy. I mean, if you can and you're actually dedicating it wisely, then it's good. But if you just can, you know, dedicate a certain day, that's what you need to do in order to succeed. But if you don't put in any sort of effort at all, even during those 2 hours or even during those 8 hours you commit to Atomy, then nothing will happen for your success in Atomy, right? So it's important for us to be focused and make sure we're putting in the right amount of time and utilizing our time wisely, because, you know, we have a lot of time left, but also at the same time we don't, right? We might think that, okay, if I live to 100 years, I have so much time left, but time is gonna go by fast, right? We're slowly getting older, and as we get older, so does, the economy change, the world changes, but we have to also be ready for that change. But if we don't have things like money and things like freedom, then how can we be ready, right? And as a successful person in whether you're doing Atomy or any other business, we have to have a business mindset, right? I'm not telling us to suddenly start studying about business and how to do marketing, how to do all that, because at the same time, it's not easy. But in Atomy, a lot of that is actually done for you. A lot of the hard work is done for you, right? In terms of building your network marketing, Atomy is not telling you to go out there and do your own market research and then create your own product and market all that. They have all that taken care of on the backside. All you have to do is use the products and enjoy it and then share. That's your form of marketing, right? Networking and marketing is that side-to-side aspect, right? And so when you do that value of your own network marketing, you have to understand that you have to view the networks you have and treasure them, right? And so there's going to be someone who you might encounter to be like, oh, Daniel, my left side is doing really well, but my right side is not, so I'm not making any money. And what this tells me is that they don't know anything about network marketing and how to succeed in network marketing, and that probably that stronger leg was not even from their own efforts, to be honest. It probably was because they were part of my main leg, and that stronger leg happened to be a part of the leg, and so that's why they're able to benefit off that, right? If you truly have a stronger leg on one side, then you should just duplicate that same method that you use for that stronger leg. That means that your left leg would also grow, or the weaker leg should grow if you use the same method, right? But if you don't know what you're doing because you didn't follow what your sponsors in the system taught you, then obviously when you try to duplicate it, you'll have very little success, right? A true business that isn't doing well means that no matter how hard you work, no matter how many actual diligent hours you put into the work, on your left and right leg, it's not making any progress, right? That shows that this business is pretty much impossible to succeed, right? But even if you're not an expert in anatomy, if you just work a bit, then at least one leg will grow, even if it's not your own effort. That's the power of anatomy, right? And so then at that point, then what do you need to do, right? What kind of work do you need to put in, right? So if your leg is growing on one side, that is not due to your efforts. And you have to put, that is the hard work from your sponsors and partners. So from here on, it really relies on, in order for it to grow, you have to put in your own efforts. And obviously that's not going to happen overnight, but with being part of the system, being plugged in and learning, it will bring you one step closer to that success, right? And so there's going to be people that's going to try to abuse the system by having someone else join on their weaker leg, and then that potentially is going to be a partner, and they're going to earn undeserved income. But those people will quickly get weeded out eventually, because if I'm just someone who doesn't get any income, or I suddenly find a partner and that partner is working hard, and then I just decide not to work hard and I get money for free, will that partner stay in that line? No, right? That partner will realize that they're going to be working tirelessly for someone else's success while that person is not even bothering to help them, right? And so they're going to quit, right? But if you work together with your sponsors and if you properly duplicate what Atomy is teaching you, you'll be able to grow both your legs without any trouble as long as you follow the system. However, if you're not properly duplicating what you've learned, then you'll definitely struggle in growing your legs. And same with your partners. They'll duplicate the same habits that you have, right? And so the biggest investor in your business is yourself, right? If you aren't confident in your business, the person who you share it to will also feel unconfident, right? Imagine you're starting your own company and you give a presentation to your investors, and then they ask you why you're doing this, and you say, I don't know. Then do you think that they'll feel confident in investing in you? No, right? Right? They won't feel confident in using your products. They won't feel confident in, even attending the business when you don't even believe in yourself and believe in Atomy, right? And so a big part of Atomy is changing your mindset from what you are used to doing things the Atomy way, right? So what do I mean by this is that you have to, let me give an example, right? Like I had a partner, they said that they felt uncomfortable selling because doing this felt like it was for their own benefit, right? And then they're trying to sell to their customers something that they don't want to, is that now that let's try to change that mindset, right? Instead of having that mindset of, oh, I'm selling something that my customers don't need, if we approach them thinking that this is an opportunity for our consumers, for our partners, it changes the entire idea of that, right? Now I'm not trying to sell them something, I'm trying to give them something. I'm trying to give them an opportunity, give them a chance to change their life around, right? Whether it's because you want them to succeed in Atomy through making income, or whether it's so that they can make healthy lifestyle choices, those are all opportunity, right? Oh, I want to share this hemoine with you because I heard that you're feeling unwell. This hemoine changed my life, and I think it can also change yours. That is giving an opportunity. I'm not trying to sell them that, right? I'm just trying to change their life because they're already having a hard time. I believe that Atomy's hemoheme can completely change their life and make it for the better, right? So then now it becomes a completely different mindset. I'm not trying to sell, but I'm now trying to share, right? You're trying to share, right? And so, apply this aspect into every different product in your life, every different product that you're using with Atomy, right? Whether it's the sunscreen or toothpaste, right? If they're already using a different brand, let them know why they should switch because of the benefits of why and how you've also enjoyed that benefit, right? And so now having that eye to recognize core members play a big part into doing your Atomy business because you're going to encounter a lot of people, hundreds and thousands of people in Atomy. But if you don't recognize the right people that need to, be built up for success, then you're going to have a much harder time, right? So in Atomy, you don't want to just build up everyone that just comes to you saying that they're going to do business, right? Because not everyone is actually going to do the business. A lot of them just come here to just say that they want it, but they're not willing to put in the hard work. So instead, you have to continue to filter through these people and find those key people that you want to grow together with. And you'll know when you meet them, you'll know those people, they're going to be dedicated. They're going to love Atomy's products. They're going to be willing to go above and beyond in order to succeed in Atomy. But if they don't have any of those kind of things, the business mindset or the mentality in succeeding, whether it's in just life in general, then it's going to be very hard for you to help succeed together with them because they're going to be someone who's lazy. They're going to be someone who's going to be making excuses a lot. They're going to complain, right? Even if you decide to help them, they're going to not even thank you for your help. They're going to rather, say all the things that you didn't do for them, right? Those are not the partners that you want to build up. Those are just maybe consumers and you just leave them as there. So you have to have the right eyes. And we don't want to be helping the same person who's never willing to grow 10 years in a row, right? You're just wasting your time and effort. And we have a limited amount of time. We have a limited amount of money and effort. So don't waste your time on the wrong people. And so the successful person in Atomy is also someone who's able to overcome hardships, right? And Atomy, just like in any other job, any other life or anything else, you have to overcome hardships, right? I'm sure we've all encountered something in our lives, whether it's through work or whether it's through our own life, whether it's through health, where we've had to overcome that hardship. Maybe you've had a loved one that was passed away, right? It's not easy, right? But you have to overcome it. You can't let it consume you. Let's say you've lost your job, right? Is that something easy? No. But is it overcomable? Yes, you can overcome and you can keep climbing. But if we stop climbing, if we stop and we give up, that's when we truly fail, right? And so be a person who is able to overcome anything that anyone throws at you. Because in Atomy, because it's a network marketing and because it has a lot of negative stigma, you are going to encounter a lot of people saying a lot of different things to you, right? And you're going to face a lot of rejections time and time again. But if you are scared of that rejection and scared to succeed, then what can you do, right? There's nothing more I can do for you, right? Nothing more your sponsors can do for you. It's up to you to keep pushing through, right? But it all happens from our mindset. If you feel that you can't do it anymore, seek out your sponsors. They're going to help you in terms of building out your mental space as well, right? They can't build out your full business for you, but they can at least guide you on what they can do and their experience, right? Maybe your sponsors have also gone through that. I'm 100% sure your sponsors probably did go through that, but they also probably have their own ways to go about it, right? Just like how many of us are here today seeking to succeed, we probably encountered all kinds of rejections and rebuke from our family members and friends, but you're still here, right? Why? Ask yourself why. Why are you still here? Is it because you believe in Atomy? Or is it because you're wanting to make money? Right? What is your driving factor in order to overcome your hardships in Atomy, right? And so you're gonna meet all kind of people, but don't focus on people who are negative because out of all the people you meet, 1/3 of those people are gonna be people who like you. 1/3 of those people are gonna be people who dislike you, and the last 1/3 are people who are not even interested in you. So that means that ultimately you can't be a perfect person for everyone, and that's something that you just have to accept and proceed in doing this business, right? So in order for us to continue to succeed, we have to be able to recognize these things and accept them and overcome them. And if people say that, like, oh, Daniel, why are you doing that? Why are you doing network marketing? Why are you trying to tell me to do this? It's such a waste of time. Ignore them, right? Because they don't know any better. Like as I said before, they just view Atomy as just a bag of trash. They don't see the gold inside it because they don't really know, right? And so we can't blame them because they don't know. So ultimately, we just have to keep moving forward and doing our best because all we know for ourselves why we're here, right? I know why I'm here, right? Do you know why you're here? And so in Atomy, we also have to become someone who is able to grow their dreams, right? Growing your dreams is not just something we tell you because we're trying to become children again or anything like that, but it's so important. Growing your dreams fuels your desire for growth, right? The many reasons why people continue to do their stagnant 9 to 5 job is because they don't have a dream. They just are satisfied with their current lifestyle and are just going to live that 9 to 5 routine because it's stable for them, but they don't know how to dream. They've lost the ability to dream. And I think that's partially due to how the system is set up, right? The way the school system is set up and education as well, because they teach you how to become an employee, but they don't teach you how to become a dreamer, a business owner. They tell you how to become a smart professor, smart student, smart, engineer, all that stuff, but they don't tell you how to become a dedicated and smart business owner, right? Even if you go to business school, they don't tell you how to become a business owner. They just tell you like, oh, what can you do so that you can become a business manager in a business, right? They don't tell you the secrets to how to succeed. They just want you to become someone who is part of the system, part of the cogwheel of, all these 9 to 5 lifestyle and be satisfied with that. So we have to break free from that mindset, right? And so, do your best to succeed in Atomy. Grow your dreams. Don't make it stop halfway, right? If you're making it stop halfway because you're satisfied with where you are in Atomy, like let's say you're making, $300 or $200 from Atomy and your husband gives you $300 or $200 in allowance and you're now happy. You make $500, $600 a month and you're like, okay, that's enough for me. I'm only doing Atomy part-time, so I don't have to do anything. But I can 100% guarantee that money will disappear sooner or later because that money is not something that was earned by your own hard work only, right? That was the effort of your consumers, your partners. And if you stop working, then they will also stop purchasing, stop working. And eventually all that hard work that you did will disappear, right? And you're not helping your partners grow. They're also gonna realize that, okay, this is a fruitless business, and then they'll leave. So don't stop at one point. Keep running until you become Imperial Master, right? Don't let your partners starve, right? We are doing this business together. So don't let that dreams be just a half-hearted dream. If your dream is to become an auto sales master, once you reach that level, now aim for becoming an auto diamond. Now aim for becoming auto star, auto Sharon, all that stuff. Continue to grow your dreams, right? Don't stop and make your dreams big and vivid, right? Don't make them just small. Imagine yourself, I'm gonna live in this nice place, right? Right above the seas, ocean front, and there's a nice mansion with 2 different cars that I really want, like a Mercedes or a Tesla or whatever. And then I'm going to have a family and invite all my friends to parties, all my sponsors and partners. That's the kind of dream you want to grow. Don't stop dreaming, right? Never let the world take away your dreams and your goals and your passion for success, right? And let Atomy be your tool for reaching that dreams, right? Let's say you had a dream to become a singer, right? Succeed and grow your business, and you can, right? Atomy has so many new programs. They've had many different programs to allow for you to even achieve your dream as a singer, the dream that you might have forgotten or might have decided to give up on because you had to help and feed your family, right? So when your partners decide to challenge for sales master, don't tell them to take it slow because that means that you are afraid to grow. You are afraid to succeed. Instead, challenge together with them, work together with them, right? Let them become a part of your success and let yourself become a part of their success. And these are the kind of traits that we need to have in order for us to grow and climb this escalator for success, right? We have to have that desire, the hunger for growth. And so I want to share a famous movie. This is probably one of my favorite movies. You might have seen this. It's a very old movie. If you haven't, I definitely recommend check it out. Not too old, 2006 or so, but this is the movie called Pursuit of Happiness, right? And so this is actually based off a true story. And so it's a bit about Chris Gardner, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's watch this clip.
소리 안 들려요? Daniel, I cannot.
You have to show your volume,
음,
your sound.
Oh, sorry about that.
소리 안 들려요.
I'm going pro!
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. You'll probably be about as good as I was. That's kind of the way it works, and I was below average, so, whoa. So you'll probably ultimately rank somewhere around there, so you'll excel at a lot of things, just not this. I don't want you out here shooting this ball around all day and night, all right?
All right.
Okay? All right, go ahead. Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period. Let's go.
And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed that clip about you see Will Smith telling his son, but this is pretty much based off the true story for Chris Gardner, and he was telling his son that give up on your dream to become pro, and then he tells his son that don't let anyone put you down, don't let anyone stop you from reaching your success, your goals, and your dreams, right? And so this is very true in our day-to-day life, right? You're gonna experience this every day around people around you, even by the most closest people, right? Whether it's your family members or friends that you trust and love. And so don't let those people stop you from choosing your dreams and success, because that's ultimately how you're going to succeed in life, right? And so this movie is based off a true story, which is about Chris Gardner, man on the left here, who is a famous business owner and a motivational speaker. Yeah, he's currently a millionaire. And in this lecture, Chris Gardner says that the time when you stand up again without giving up will be the turning point in your life. If you think you've chosen the right direction, be sure of it. Speed doesn't matter, right? And Chris Gardner was able to become from being homeless to a millionaire because he never gave up. Right. In this movie, part one clip that they had was that they were actually sleeping in one of those family washrooms because they had no place that they could go. So he brought his son into that family washroom, and then there was like a janitor or someone banging on the door telling them to leave, and it just shows how difficult their situation was. But here he never gave up. right? He never gave up and he continued to strive for success and reached that success eventually, right? And so successful people have different, things that they do. And in Atomy, what does that successful people have to do? Right? And very simple, we just have to be plugged into the system, right? From the system, I'm talking about attending your seminars, attending your success academies, right? Plugged into these meetings, because these are all going to help propel your success, right? Everything in life is repetitive. Your 9-to-5 job is repetitive. So just because we're talking about the same things, telling you about the same things every week, does that mean that it's a waste of your time? No, because all of this is there in order to do it. Even if I tell you over and over and over again, 90% of the people might not even do what I'm telling you, right? So I have to drill it into your brain, drill it into your soul so that you realize that you need to change. You realize that you need to do better for yourself, right? Do better for your family and loved ones. And in Atomy, do it together, right? Don't leave anyone out, especially those core members. If they're working hard, work hard together with them. Don't just let them be and think that, okay, your work is done. Now I'm just gonna let them help me succeed in my life. No, right? Because those people will leave if you don't work together. So work together and in the right direction, right? If you don't know what direction you're going, talk to your sponsors, consult with your sponsors. Let them be your guiding light. So that way they bring you to success. But I'm not talking about just any sponsor that's right above you, but I'm talking about the sponsors who are actually diligent and working hard, right? If you're actually putting in the time and effort to succeed in Atomy, those are the sponsors you want to work with. And you want to do this until the end, until you reach Imperial Master. And at that point, then you've reached this level of success where you don't have to stop. You can now just give to those around you, give to your sponsors, give to your partners, and give to your loved ones, right? We finally reached the finish line, and now we can dream of other things. We can dream of even bigger things with our lives, right? So don't let anyone stop you and anyone holding you back for your success. Be your own business owner, be your own success maker, right? It all starts from ourselves, right? Every day when you wake up, you choose to do Atomy, you're already choosing to do success. You're already choosing that road to success. So you're already doing great, right? By choosing to be in this meeting, you're already choosing the right actions for success. And so I hope that you all enjoyed my presentation. I did go a little bit over time, but I do hope that it kind of shared on what you can do to become a successful business owner, right? Whether you take this and apply it to your life in Atomy, whether you take it and apply it to anywhere else, I hope that you use this for your own success. So that way, in the end, you can reach the dream and goals that you've set out for yourself. So thank you so much for listening, and let's all meet at the top.
Thank you, Diamond Master Daniel, for giving us that wonderful presentation and just showing us our new future and what we should try achieving and not giving up or half-hearted doing Atomy, but actually focusing on what we should do, right? I guess that is all for today. It is a little bit past our time. Sorry about that. But before we all end it, if you could just do our company motto and then we'll take a picture together. Okay, are we all ready? Let's go. Cherish the spirit.
Cherish the spirit,
Create the
create the
vision,
vision,
follow the
follow
faith,
the faith,
serve in
serve in
humility.
humility.
Aja,
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 aja.
aja.
Thank you for coming today, and we'll just